Hello amigos, ¿cómo están? My name is Dan and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking all about the Leagues Cup and my opinion on it and my opinion on what Chivas is doing in it and our season as a whole at the moment. Um, I'm not going to try and rant too much in this video. I just want to get my opinion out there. I've got a strong opinion about this tournament and about Chivas right now, and I kind of want to get it out because I've just watched the Charlotte game. I'm a little bit annoyed about it. There's some good things to be said about it as well, but I kind of want to just get my feelings out because I feel like a lot of people will agree with me. Some people might disagree with me as well, so let me know in the comments. But yeah, let's just get straight into the negative first, because there's plenty of negative for me to express. And we're going to talk about the league, the tournament, should we say, the Leagues Cup first. My feelings on it. And I think everyone kind of knows that I kind of don't rate the tournament. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's an inconvenience. It's a huge, massive inconvenience for Liga Makers clubs. Not so much for the MLS teams, but for the Liga Makers clubs, it's a massive inconvenience. Let's just straight into it. Obviously, for most teams, pretty much every team apart from Chivas and a couple of others, they're 3 games into the new season. The season's only just started. It feels like a week ago. It's only just started with 3 games in. Chivas have only played 2 games so far, and suddenly we've got to go to the US and play 3 US teams for some reason. And yes, it bothers the crap out of me, to be honest with you. It really just annoys me. Partly because of the inconvenience. Obviously, our season's just started. We have a brand new coach. We have a load of brand new players. We're trying to bed them into the league, and suddenly they're off in the MLS now playing. Well, they're playing in the US, playing MLS teams. Why? And I can tell you right now why. It's because it's a naked, clearly obvious attempt by the MLS to give kind of credibility to their league. Everyone knows, everyone that ever studies American football, North American football at least, Liga MX is far and away above the MLS in terms of every metric, in terms of viewership, in terms of quality, in terms of player development, pretty much in terms of everything, apart from the money. Obviously, teams do have a lot more money. Having said that, they've got salary cap, player limitations, all that crap. So there's a little bit of leeway in between the two leagues, but every other metric, viewership, player development, it's all Liga makers, and the overall ability and the quality of the teams is better for Liga Makers by far. So it's a naked attempt by the MLS to go, you know what, we should play these Liga Makers teams, because if MLS teams start beating them on a regular basis, we can then get credibility. They want to be the #1 team in North America. They don't want to be seen as a retirement league anymore. They want to develop their league, and the only way they could do that is by beating Liga Makers teams, because Liga Makers teams are the metric. They're the top of the game over in North America. So that's why it's a naked attempt to basically try and get credibility for the league. It's also Messi, the Messi effect. It's another attempt to get Messi another trophy in that country because it helps everybody. Obviously, the whole Messi fan base is crazy anyway, but having him win a league or winning a title or winning any kind of trophy over there is just going to benefit MLS and benefit into Miami. That's why Miami is able to do what they do, because Messi's on their team. The amount of rule bending and gymnastics that have gone into Miami is just crazy anyway. So yeah, it's basically those two reasons. It's to get credibility for the MLS teams and the MLS in general, and it's also to try and get Messi another trophy, because that is a massive payday for everyone involved. So it's an inconvenience, to be honest with you. MLS are far more into their season because they don't have the UEFA kind of timetables. They're far more into their season than Liga Makers are. Having said that, they do have to deal with the fact that, they've got injuries and stuff. Their players are more tired, I guess. Our players have only just come off a summer break, unless you've been playing for the international teams. But overall, Liga Makers teams are more rested than MLS. You have to give them that. But yeah, it's just, I don't like it at all, to be honest with you. it's yeah, like I said, it's just a naked attempt, money grab. It's more money for the It's also, don't forget, legal makers are gonna benefit. That's why Mexico plays in the US every other week, because it gets them money, it gets them tickets, it gets them TV rights. Um, you know, MLS have gone, well, look at the amount of people that watch, pointless lower level teams in Liga MX compared to the top level teams in MLS. Let's bring that viewership over to the US. So it gets them viewership money as well. So there's that. But it's just a naked attempt basically to get relevance, to get credibility for the MLS teams. And it hasn't gone the way they've wanted it to. And it's going to lead me to my next point of how the Liga Makers teams take this tournament, which teams are taking it seriously, which teams are not taking it seriously, and it's kind of interesting to look at the Liga Makers side, because there's kind of a weirdness going on right now. I mean, what you're seeing is the quote unquote bigger clubs in Liga Makers not doing very well at all in this tournament. Obviously, Chivas, we're going to talk about them in a minute, but Club America not doing great in this tournament. They managed to scrape a win on penalties the other day. I think they lost the game beforehand, if I'm not mistaken. Cruz Azul just got battered by Seattle Sounders, which is absolutely crazy. No Liga Makers club should be losing by that amount of goals against any MLS teams, but it is what it is. Rayados are struggling. Tigres are kind of struggling a little bit. I think they won their last game, but still, all the big teams, all the teams that you think would run away and win this tournament at Cantor are not doing great. And then you've got the quote unquote lesser teams doing really well. Juarez, Mazatlan, Cholos, they're doing brilliantly. I mean, Gilberto Mora is arguably the player of the tournament so far. Yeah, kind of strange, kind of crazy. And you kind of sat back. We're 2 games into the 3 game cycle now, and I kind of sat back and go, what's going on exactly? What's going on? Basically, uh, I'm an Englishman, and I always compare everything to the Premier League and the English football. Sorry, but it's just what I do. Everyone compares to what they know most, and then that's what I know most. For me, it's like the Carabao Cup. In the Premier League, there's a reason why Man United and Newcastle and the lesser teams, the smaller teams, and they're not so good teams right now, are winning that tournament quite regularly. I mean, City won it loads of times, but that's only because they had like 2 or 3 starting 11s and they played their B team for most of it, or whatever. But of late, the lesser teams that are not quite in Europe, they're nowhere near any other kind of trophies. They've won this tournament, and that's why. I feel like every big team in Liga MX is going to win this league, want to win the League's Cup. It's a tournament, it's a trophy. It may not matter to anyone really outside of MLS, but it's a trophy, and you also want to win games. You want to win trophies. I feel like Tigres America especially are probably not taking it that seriously. Having said that, I don't know what their starting lineups are in terms of their best starting lineups. I don't follow them 2 teams regularly. I don't care about those 2 teams. All I care about is looking at the results, and I feel like results wise, they're probably not, taking it that seriously. America is particularly seem to be off this season. They're not doing great at all. Having said that, they'll probably stumble over the line and get another tournament, another title, league title. But you see, Cholos, Juarez, and Mazatlan in particular, they're nowhere near winning the Liga MX title. Let's be real. They should be nowhere near. Cholos got quite close, and they've done quite well over the last couple of years. But still, realistically, they're never going to win the title. Let's be real. Um, and suddenly they're thrust into this tournament where they're sitting around going, well, hang on, it's just MLS teams. Like, this is a tournament that we could actually win. This is a cup and a trophy that we could actually win. And I feel like they're taking it a lot more seriously. It does help that Juarez, and in particular Cholos, have a good team, a good coach as well. And I feel like, they're making the most of it. Having said that, they've still got a game to play. It's a big question mark who's actually going to win this tournament, especially with Messi being out injured. That's kind of, you don't really want to celebrate a player getting injured, but it's quite funny now that that's happened, and it's kind of thrown all of MLS's plans out the window, because they just wanted, they wanted Messi to win another trophy, and that might be in jeopardy now. So yeah, I mean, that's probably an oversimplification. I feel like the bigger teams have one eye on the league still. They've got one eye on the fact that we've got like 15 or whatever more games to play. And we want to get to Ligia, we want to win the title. Do we really want to bust our players out? Get them injured in this tournament when we've got a serious tournament coming back to in next week. So that's what I feel like. I feel like it's just an inconvenience. Overall, it's cringy, I think, and it's just it bothers me, to be honest with you. It's like I don't want to be dealing with this right now. I want to be dealing with the league. I want Chivas to be playing league games. Now let's get into the Chivas aspect. The Chivas aspect brings a new side to it for me. You sit there. When this started happening, when this tournament started happening, I said, look, I'm not bothered about this tournament. I probably won't do any videos on it. I don't care. I don't care if we lose every game. I don't care if we win every game. It bugs the crap out of me. It's a waste of time. It's an inconvenience. I don't care about it at all. But then you start seeing the playlists, it's games that you want to win. It's like MLS, okay, they're all just playing MLS teams, they're not playing any Liga MX teams, which is great. And I thought, you know what, it's a good opportunity to rotate. It's a good opportunity to play players that may not start, a Liga MX game. And yeah, it hasn't worked out that way. Milito, I believe that Milito believes that he's starting his best 11. Pulido up front, Rangel in goal. I was starting 11 basically. And you changed and put Alvarez, onto Efrain. He started Efrain Alvarez. Is what I'm trying to say in this game. You had to. Efrain Alvarez is arguably been one of our best players in the 3 games or 4 games that we've played. He's played for in Chivas. And he deserved a start, and he got a start, and he was unlucky not to get a goal in the Charlotte game. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest with you. I wanted to see Wally play. I wanted to give Rangel a little bit of a break. We'll get up to Rangel in a minute, because there's a talking point on him. But yeah, I wanted to see Armando Gonzalez start. Taylor Walker get on the pitch. I even wanted to see Sergio Aguayo get some minutes. We're not seeing much rotation at all. And worries me. Because we've got now, 2 points out of a possible 6 in 2 games. It's embarrassing. To be a Chivas fan right now in Leagues Cup, it's embarrassing. We should never have lost the game against Charlotte. Again, we'll talk about Rangel in a minute. And we shouldn't have lost against New York Red Bulls. We dominated them at home, and we should have got at least a point. And to concede a goal right at the end, it's just disgusting. It's disappointing and it's embarrassing. And you're sitting there going, we've just been playing our best 11. We can't even turn around and blame it on rotation. It's worrying. We've still got trouble scoring goals. We scored a couple of goals in the Charlotte game. We'll talk about that in a minute. But overall, we're struggling to score. Armando Gonzalez came off the bench and scored a couple of goals in the first home game, the last game we just played in Liga MX. But we're struggling to score, we're struggling to create, we're having decent shots. Ledesma had a really good goal this game against Charlotte. Really good long range shot that just was a brilliant goal. And yeah, not good. This isn't a competition that we're realistically going to win. Not because I don't want us to win it. If we won it, great, cool. But I feel like we've got other priorities right now. We need to bed our new coach into the league, and playing in the MLS is not helpful, in my opinion. But yeah, worrying. It's worrying that we're playing our best. His best 11. I believe it's his best 11. I feel like he's playing what he thinks is his best 11. Started Pulido pretty much every game. That's 4 games now in a row that Pulido started. Hasn't done anything, in my opinion. And warrants a change. I've got a funny feeling that in the 3rd game we're going to rotate the crap out of the team. Yeah, Armando Gonzalez came on against Charlotte, immediately got a free kick. Efrain should have scored from it. He didn't, but it was a good free kick. And it was a good, play from Armando. But I feel like we should have rotated this team. We should have rotated this team in this tournament. Bet some more players, treat it more like preseason. Give some of the fringe players a bit more of a chance and prove themselves. which leads me to the last thing. The negative about Chivas right now. Pulido, for me, shouldn't be starting. He hasn't earned it anymore. I think Gonzalez has done more for Chivas this season so far in the 4 games we played to warrant a start. I fully expect him to start next game. And yeah, defensively, we're off right now. Tiba, the own goal sucks. It is what it is. You get a ball into the box, it can go anywhere, and sometimes it does come off your player and go in. But Tiba hasn't covered himself in glory in this game, in this tournament so far, in the season so far. Arguably been our worst defender. Before I go to Angel, I'll talk about the positives. Ledesma, Efrain, and Couture doing brilliantly. Brilliant signings. So far, so good. And yeah, like I said, Couture scored a really good goal. Should have won that game. Should have been the winner. And then he should have scored it. He was in behind a couple of times. One goal he scored that was ruled out offside. So Couture for me looks more than adequately replaced Mateo Chavez. I think Couture is going to be a top player for us. Mozo coming off the bench getting a really good assist. I still think he's our best right back. But having said that, Gomez coming on as well. I thought he did alright. Yeah, so there are positives. I just feel like Pulido is not doing enough up front. I think I want to see Ledesma and I want to see Yale Padilla. I think Padilla didn't really do too much. Kate Cow didn't really do too much either. He scored his penalty, which is cool, but still. Armando Gonzalez scored his as well, won the game, or won the penalty shootout, got us an extra point, which is cool. But yeah, just not enough going forward for me. Pulido, I think, is an empty shirt at the moment. I feel like maybe starting the younger player with more energy is better, and bringing Pulido on in the last 20 minutes or 10 minutes or so. I think Pulido might be a bit more effective against tired defenders, but we'll have to wait and see on what happens with that. My last thing I want to talk about is Talavera. Nobody in the world has been more of a Talavera fan than me. Since he was at Tabatillo, I've raved about this kid. I think he's a phenomenal goalkeeper. I do believe he has the capability of being Mexico's number one. And in the not too long distant future, I think Malagon isn't that great. I don't think there's any Mexican goalkeeper right now that is out and out the best goalkeeper in the world for Mexico. So that spot is well up for grabs. If somebody wants to start going on a really good run, have a really good couple of league seasons, then I think that position is theirs. But I'm not going to be blindly biased. We're going to face up the fact that Talavera currently is having his worst period for Chivas. An absolutely atrocious start to the season. He's cost the team at least 2 wins now. One in the league and one in this game against Charlotte. That free kick that he conceded to get them to 2-2, I would say was the worst thing he's ever done in the Chivas jersey. Absolutely should not be beaten at his near post from that angle. He should never have gone in. And yeah, he's not covered himself in any kind of glory. He saved the penalty in the penalty shootout, which is great, but he did it in the most Talavera way possible by doing it with his face. Having said that, he had to get his body over to the side to get his face in the way. So credit to him, he gets the right way and he saved it, which is great. But it came off his face and it went through his hands, ironically enough. Yeah, I have to say he's not doing great at the moment. I don't think Wally's the answer. I don't even think Dragon's the answer. I don't think Dragon's Garcia is good enough yet to be number one at Chivas. Look, Rangel is a top goalkeeper. He's just going through a bad period right now. You have to acknowledge that. You can't say, no, it's been brilliant, he's been bad this season so far. But it's 4 games, well, technically 2 league games into the season. And who gives a crap about the League Cup anyway? Having said that, if I won it, it would be great. But if we won it, it would be great. But yeah, he needs to fix up a bit, and I feel like maybe Wally starts. And I said to him on Twitter, I said, we should have been starting Wally anyway in this tournament. We should have been rotating everyone in this tournament. We should be playing our B team in every single game, and use it as a pre-season kind of bedding in his extra players. Milito's obviously decided that he wants to try and win this trophy, and it's backfired spectacularly. And I feel like Rangel may be a little bit too comfortable at Chivas. last season Dragon was never ever ever going to take his spot. And this season I don't think Wally is good enough to take his spot either. Wally had a good preseason and he's a good goalkeeper and he's probably going to start the third game. Um, but he's not better than Rangel. Players, Chivas fans, I do feel like love to blame the goalkeeper a lot. We've seen it in the recent past. Um, Rangel's a good goalkeeper. He's just having a bad period right now, and he needs to change that. And the only positive I can find is you can learn a lot more from your failures than you do from your successes. So hopefully he's taken the lessons from this tournament and he's going to try and improve on it. And then hopefully when we get back into the season, he starts performing a little bit better. Sometimes it is the fact that Tiba's in front of him and some of the defenders mess up and stuff. I don't feel like it's always his fault. I do feel like the defence has let him down a couple of times. But having said that, the Charlotte result is on 100% on Rangel. He cost the team, well, 2 extra points, really. Technically a point because we got 2 points out of it, but still, we should have won this game and it should have been quite easy. We absolutely dominated them in the second half. We were the better team. We dominated New York Red Bulls as well. We managed to concede from that. So he's having a poor season. He needs to step up because, like I said, no team can win the league. No team can win anything with a poor goalkeeper. At the moment, Rangel is pretty poor, and we need to rectify that as soon as possible. The next game, is on Thursday, my time. I'm at work that day, so I'm not going to do a video. I might do a video on Friday. I don't know yet, depending on how the result go and what else happens. But yeah, no, like I said, mixed feelings really. You want your team to win the games they play and win a trophy, and this tournament is so winnable for any Liga MX team. Only a massive fumble can make an MLS team win this title. But having said that, I'm not that bothered. For me, it's just like a preseason tournament for me. Use it to rotate the team. Use it to test out these other players. Um, you know, and then go back into the season a little bit stronger, a little bit more experienced. Milito's still got a lot to learn about his team, I think. If he starts Pulido, then I start to worry that maybe he's got a little bit of a stubborn streak. He needs to be able to adapt, play the players that are doing well. And Armando is doing well right now, and I think he's done more for Chivas than Pulido has this season, and I think he deserves a start. And I think Pulido will do better off the bench than starting games, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to run too much more. I'm going to leave it at that. That's my opinion on the league title, on the league cups, on Chivas and the Liga MX teams in general. I'm sure they'll end on Gilberto Mora, man. I would love to have that kid at Chivas. I think he'd do brilliantly for us. The sooner that kid's in Europe, the better. I think if any good has come out of this tournament, it's him and the younger players. Vargas at Seattle Sanders doing brilliantly. A couple of other team players as well. All the young players are doing really well, to be honest with you. I kind of want to see Embarassment play. I don't know why he's not playing. I can only assume that maybe he's still, about to leave. But yeah, I want to see Canberra's play. I want to see Yael play more and see what they can do. Have our youngsters continue to do brilliantly for the team. But let me know what you think about the tournament. Chivas chances, Chivas games so far. Do you have a chance this season? Do you think Rangel's going to improve? Let me know what you think about Rangel. A lot of people are reactionary right now, hate him. I think that's a bit extreme. I feel like he's a great goalkeeper and he's just having a bad spot. And I think he has to learn from this and improve. But we'll have to wait and see. And I'll try and come back for the game on Friday or with Friday. The game's on Thursday, but I'll try and be back on Friday for this video. It depends on how the game goes. If we lose, then I ain't going to be bothered. I've got all my opinion out in this video. If we win, then maybe I might do it. I always like to do videos after a win. But, let me know what you think about everything in this video. And, let me know what you think we're going to do about the season. Because I feel like it could be another long season for us. But, yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a really good week. And, I'll see you guys very soon. Adios.